The average small business goes to market 4 times a year for money. The average small business approaches 4 banks before being approved. I mean, lots of problems exist in getting a small business up. Are you crazy or just plain stupid? You still want to start one of these? Okay, and I think everybody should start a business. It's the funnest damn thing you've ever done in your whole life. Even if you go out of business, it's fun. Really, it is. That guy in here that has that story, I just say, hey, thank the Lord I can get to do this again. Because you know what I have? You know what you all have in here? You have this and you have this. That's all you need. You have this and this. And you guys have more of this than most people. Okay, so, you know, I call a fad financially appealing for dummies. Okay? You what? Ready to move those? Oh, no, I got, in a second. So I call financially appealing for dummies. Because I'm not a smart, my mother didn't have any smart children. So I had to figure out, how to make money. I mean, for a really dummy. And you'll see after my talk, blame it on your professor for being second string guy here. So anyway, what was my first idea? I was 23 years old. I just got done 1976 Olympics. I was a downhiller. Talk about stupid. So I was a downhill. I fell in a downhill trying to get in the 76 games in Sapporo. And I just got in my car. It was January 5th. And I said, screw it. I'm headed for California. So I got in my car with everything I ever owned in the back seat. And I took off for California. And I went till the land ran out. And the land ran out in Newport Beach. Looked up. There was a sign for rent. I rented that place. $1,500 a month. I took the risk. Of course, I gave him my $200 down, convinced the landlord that I could pay, put an ad in the quick paper, got in 8 guys. We all rented the place for $300 a night, $300 a month, and we lived on the beach. Didn't know these guys from Adam. Just put an ad in the paper, and they had money, and I had money, on $300 anyway. And we rented the place. So I'd be with my girlfriend as I started to date on the beach, and so I didn't. I mean, bikini's amazing. Anyway, so I was trying to rent roller skates. I was trying to find roller skates to rent with my girlfriend and I. And every time they'd say to me, "Come back in an hour. Come back in an hour." I did this for 2 weeks. Come back in an hour. My smarter friends would have started the company faster than me. But anyway, I said, you know what? I think the world needs more roller skates. Hey, this kid's smart. So I said, all right, well, I was sponsored by Adidas as a ski racer, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I call Adidas. I call up the head guy. He says, oh, we have 500,000 pairs of seconds. I says, you know what? My God, that's unbelievable. So I hang up the phone. I call a plastics company because I didn't think you could use metal on a heavy skate, so I called DuPont. DuPont was a plastic company. He says, yeah, we got this Zytel 801 Super Tough that's put in Ford motors to keep the plug, you know, when it goes out. Strong, tough, no, it won't burn. Great stuff. I said, send me a couple samples. And so they sent me and then I went to a urethane company that made wheels, and I put all this together, got Adidas to sign a contract. They would sell the skates for $5 a skate. They would do all the marketing and selling. I would do the manufacturing, which I had no clue how I was going to do this because I had no money. And so I said, okay, great, sold. I said, they're only sold if I write the orders. I'll pay you $5 a shoe. So I have this global Adidas team selling the products. So they go to Chicago. They hold me in a booth. I sell 180,000 pairs of shoes in one day. $37.50 a pair. I have no money. I mean, I'm a borrowed suit, you know, and I'm in the booth with the guy, and I'm throwing up all this, I got the mirrors working, and I got the whole deal working. And they said, okay, here's your stack of orders. I went back to California, and I said, oh, God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And so I just started talking to bankers. I just started talking to people, and I said, here's my orders. I got the orders $37.50. The best I figure, I'm gonna make them in Santa Ana. I can get some low-wage workers. I think I can produce the thing for about $12. And so I put a bag around it, so you could carry your bag. And back then it was all about romance and skating with your girlfriend and all that stuff. And so I did all that, and I finally got a guy. This guy comes over to my office. I mean, not at my office, my home. Comes over to my home, and I swear, stunk. Oh, evil. I mean, bad. I mean, almost, bad looking. And he says, hey, I understand you're looking for $5 million. And I was 23 years old. I was 20 in 1978. 78. So I said, yeah, well, yeah, I am. What can you do for me? He says, well, I think this check will cash. He hands me a check for $5 million. I says, well, what do you want for that? He says, give me what you think is right. Oh, well, okay. So I called the banker, and I says, I got a $5 million check from a guy named Henry DeLapp standing here. And I said, will it cash? And he says, it'll cash. So I said, holy mackerel. I run down, and I get all the migrant workers that are planting, stuff. And I bring them over, and I get this plant, for $1 a foot, and I slam everybody in there, and I get drills and all this stuff. And it was just so damn exciting, I can't even tell you. And so we were shipping skates, and then Mattel calls me and says, hey, could you make another 100,000 skates, because we have these shoes, and they're really selling in toy stores. And so, one thing led to another. I sold about, between 1970 and 1980, we sold about 350,000 pairs of shoes for $37.50 a piece. And I was famous. I was skating with, who's the Playboy guy? Hugh Hefner. I'm skating with Hugh Hefner. He's holding a party. I'm invited, and I'm giving skates to, Rod Ely, and who's the former star, and Bill Cosby, and playing all these big guys. And then the King of Spain calls me, and I ship on, 80 pairs of shoes for a party he's got, and we were hitting it. We were big. Well, 80 comes. Phew. No more skate sales. Done. One day. Gone, just like that. I said, oh my God, nobody's reordering. I have, 300 guys in the plant, and accounting and distribution, and, all receivables and all kinds of stuff going on. What am I going to do? Well, what should I have done? I closed it. I fired everybody that day. Everybody was gone. I said, we're out of business. I'll just hire some people to collect the receivables. I'll give Henry half the company, and we'll walk away. So I walked away with a lot of money as a young guy, too. So I was 25 years old. Was I stupid? And the answer is yes. What could I, for the class, in hindsight, because hindsight's easier than foresight, I had distribution. I had contacts all over the world. I was in every sporting goods store. I was in every toy store. We were in every major department store. We were everywhere with that many shoes, and I shut this down. 25 years old, made a lot of money. Think like that stuff doesn't stink very much. But in hindsight, oh my God, what did I do? So what happened? Can someone tell me what happened between 1980 and 1982 in the roller skate business? Rollerblades. So what I've learned is that if in hindsight what happened, I thought we were done. But a smarter guy than me came in and says, we're not going to just make it about being with your girlfriend or your boyfriend. We're going to turn it into an exercise. We're going to remarket this, put a straight blade on it, and we're going to sell it. Then we're going to also, if I was smart, I'd have done that, but I'd also come out with what? The flat board, 4 wheels, skateboards. They were huge. It was hotter than hot. It came back again. And so what I found out is that fads morph into product development in the second phase. And I'm going to go on to prove my fact. I'm going to prove this with 4 companies that I founded. I only got it right twice. Okay? So that's what happened on fad number 1. Made a lot of money, but I didn't monetize it. It was kind of like buying Google at 80 and selling it at 650. It's a transaction. It's not a business. So no, I didn't have advisors to sit down with me, because I don't ask directions on how to get somebody in Italy, and I'm one of those typical guys that doesn't ask directions. So I didn't have a group of advisors that slap me around and say, hey, look, if we just hold the course, stay the course, we have a hell of a business here. I mean, this was just think if you guys had this business and I gave it to you. I didn't even smart to sell it. I wasn't even that smart. We could have sold the distribution of this company to somebody. So anyway, that's number 1. Number 2, stupidity.